All right, Joe, I'm gonna do the best I can to be coherent in this crazy heat. Sometimes it's hard to formulate my words when it's like a dang sauna out here. And we got a lot of traffic going by, and that dude's cutting his grass, so a lot of noises. So bear with me on the audio portion of this, but I just wanted to give you some sort of guideline as to how the insurance assesses your roof and how they approve you for a full roof replacement. So how does your insurance approve you? Well, they go slope by slope. So they'll look at your 4 facing slopes: front, right, rear, and left. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna mark a 10-foot by 10-foot square. And within that square, they're gonna look for 8 hail hits to total out everything on that has a front facing slope. So this, all that down there. So they make these markings with chalk, so the chalk's gonna wash away once the next rain comes, and they'll circle each hit that they find. So let's simulate this adjuster from from State Farm coming out and assessing this front slope up here. We're just gonna count off the hits as we see them. 1, 2. All right, my phone cut out because I make these videos for every one of my customers, so I had to delete some of them so I can make some room. So we left off of counting out how many hits we see on this front slope. So let's go ahead and start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, this isn't really a 10-foot by 10-foot area. This is more like a 4-foot by 4-foot area that we just looked at. And we have qualifying hail damage. I know this neighborhood got hit a couple of times, honestly, in the past handful of years with hail. So it shows very much so. So we're going to check it out on the left slope here. Let's count out how many hits we see. Just start right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This side is definitely one of the worst sides. Sometimes these storms come in a specific direction, so some slopes are hurt worse than others. So front slope is totaled out. This left slope is totaled out. Let's check out the rear slope. So 8 hail hits to total out the slope. Let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 3 slopes completely totaled out with qualifying hail damage per insurance doctrine. And it doesn't matter if that adjuster were to do his test score up there, or if he does his test score down here, we're gonna see that same hail damage, right? Textbook hail all over this roof. See on the right side, if they want to use this little corner of the roof, you can even see 8 hail hits, easy. Now, I said that this storm came in at a very specific direction, so there's some areas of the roof that didn't get hit, and it just so happens to be at this right slope. It's not that it didn't get hit, it just wasn't as severely impacted as the other slopes. Are we going to still see hits? Absolutely. It's just not going to be as dense or as deep penetrations as we're seeing on these other slopes. But that's not a problem, because when you have 3 out of your 4 facing slopes with qualifying storm damage, then your insurance says, hey, we're going to approve you for a full roof replacement. Let's take care of everything. How does that process work? Well, you call your insurance, and we're gonna file for a property claim due to storm damages. We're not gonna specify wind or hail. No, we're just gonna say storm damages and for a date of discovery. Insurance companies like to state, hey, we need a storm date. What was the date of loss? We're not going to be working with the date of loss because the storm dates that have affected this neighborhood that were documented are over a year old, right? So we can't use that strategy. But you have your roof inspected by a contractor, and it was discovered today that there's storm damages up top, and such severe or heavy amount of storm damage to warrant a full roof replacement. That's enough information for State Farm to send out their representative out here to fact check everything and get this roof approved. State Farm has been very fair with their customers in this area. I haven't had any troubles with them, but if for some reason they don't want to cover the roof, I know exactly the proper documentation and photos they require to earn that approval for y'all. So I try to make it very easy, or this roof replacement very manageable for all my homeowners. I really enjoy strategizing with y'all to make this roof replacement a real possibility for both of us, because you have an old roof, I have really good crews, and I also do free upgrades for my homeowners. So the insurance will pay for this same style of roof to be put onto your property. This roof doesn't do good in the wind. I'll give you, yeah, it doesn't do good in the wind. Crazy. I will give you a free upgrade to a Class 3 impact resistant shingle. Class 3 impact resistant means it can withstand hailstones up to 1.75 inches. It also has a wind resistance of 110 miles per hour. This only has a wind resistance of a 60. What does that mean? The same storm comes through, hits this roof, y'all aren't incurring hail damage, because that storm that hit this roof was 1.5 inches. Class 3 shingles can withstand 1.75 inches. Very good product, very good deal in my opinion. Once the insurance approves you for a full roof replacement, they'll issue out payment, an approval letter, and also the insurance estimate. It'll detail everything to be replaced. It'll also list the material to be utilized and cost. It'll also specify what your out-of-pocket would be, which is your deductible. Your deductible can range anywhere between $2,000 to maybe $5,000. It just depends on how you have your policy set up. But $2,000 or $5,000 on an $18,000 roof job is a really good deal. Once the insurance estimate is issued to you, forward it to my email. I'll review it, make sure everything is being covered properly, because if something is being missed or it's not priced at the right amount, I can file paperwork and get that covered for you. All right, I'm gonna hop on down and answer any questions you have. Thank you, sir.